Hello guys, today we're going to make a video on how to make ordering system using Java with working database. This video is only inspired on DJ Omen's Java NetBeans ordering system. Hope you guys learn and enjoy coding with me. Good morning guys. So today we are going to do ordering system. It is actually a wine ordering system that is made from NetBeans IDE 8.0.2. The language that we're going to use is Java, obviously, because we're going to use NetBeans. Let me show you first what the program do and how the program works. So we're gonna run and we can see a login system, which we will input the login credentials. So this system is only based on one admin, only one admin. So let's put the name and the number, the quantity of the white wine that he's going to buy. Let's say he's going to buy another two red wine and some other wines. Going to buy six. You click total automatically. Uh, it will input the, the date, time, and the unit price, the subtotal of each, and then we're gonna proceed to the payment. So our total the subtotal of what we're going to buy is 5,802. So we're gonna put a higher amount than that. So let's try the lower amount first, and then click pay. Payment is lower than this paid amount, so it's not going to be re-recorded. And then we're gonna try let's say 5,900 pesos. So let's pay sales added, and then it will input a receipt in here, and then if we want to print the receipt, we can print it because it's an ordering system. Should have a printed receipt for this. So yeah, and then we can click reset for another orders. And for us to check if the business is going well, we can go to the sales tab and then look at here. And let's say you want to look uh 08 01 date. So this January 8th. So you can see here, and where is the filter, you can see all of them. So probably we're gonna test how much we earned last February 9. So that's what we're going to do. So let's say we have 09, 02. Then we filter it out and then we calculate the sum. So we have 22,000 pesos earning only at one day. And then we can calculate the sum, and then there you go. That's the sales report. We can go. So yeah. So this system is backed with Java Derby database. So it is an embedded database so that if we want to clean and build the program to make it an executable file for a business venture to use it, uh, we can use it. You can use it to its you can use its full features. So yeah, now we're going to so to do that, we need to add a new project. We need to create a new project and create a new project Java application, and then come here at ordering. Then we can click ordering system. So we need to create a main class in order for us to have a PVSM. So it is a public static void main PSVM. I mean, there we go. We already have the ordering system. So in so in our public static void main, it is very important for us to have the public static void main, since if you are creating an executable file, without using the NetBeans is very important, because without this you can't open an executable file. So we need to have this. So login. So we need to create the login. So this is what the PS VM will open right right after you double click or click and then enter the executable file. So what are we going to do next is we need to create a Java, a new JFrame. So in here, we have the login first. So this is what our login looks like. So we have a panel here that is sky blue. So let's say we're gonna create a panel here. So our system is black team. So to break it. So this is sky blue, right? And then another panel, for a black panel, the background. Then we're going to have the information here. So just gonna copy and paste here. Paste it here. And now we have it. Now we have it. And then the main thing that that we'll be needing in here is that uh, of course we need to have the text boxes for the username and the password. We need to have this so that we can put the credentials in order to access the system. So when we double click here, we have this. So in here we need to add import on these things. So we need to import the Java J option pane, and we also need to import the connection. I mean, we need to create and initialize, and then we need to import the connection. Just need to import all of those, and then we're good to go. So we already have the UI for the login system. What we're going to do now is we need to create a database for it. So what we're going to do is here, look for the services right here. So since I already have the Java Derby, I don't need to create another one. I mean I don't need to create another server for this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create only a database for it to work. So we're gonna create a database, and then so we're gonna create a database right here, and we're gonna create let's say just we're gonna create ordering system. We're gonna ordering. It's good. And the username could be root, and the password must be root also. So you can compare the password, which is also root. And then, yeah, and then we have now the ordering system. So what we're gonna do is we need to connect it. So we need to connect it on our local host, which is the 1527. And then here we have the database. And then here you can see the tables. And then we're going to create a table. So we have ID. I mean, in the table name must be login table, of course. This is where we get our credentials in order to log in to the database, to the system. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to have the ID, and it's in integer, and then it is the primary key. And then to add another column, uh, username. It is on varchar, of course, since it's composed of characters, and the sizes must be 255, and password varchar also. And then yeah, pretty much it. And then uh, we can uh, we can add data from here. So in here we can click this insert records. So in one and username we can put Harold, and then the password could be admin. So it's our first input on our database in order for us to log in. And that is where this is going. So in here we have the condition if username that equals blank. So if there's none if there is nothing on those fields, it will the option pane will show a message dialog in which it will input some fields are empty, so you cannot log in, so there's an error. And then if there is something inside the username box and the password box, it will go to the try and catch. In here we're going to try so this is the class. We need to input this. Actually actually this one is not clearly needed for now, since we're using localhost. It is so important if we use it in on embedded. So as you can see on our previous work in which I demonstrated a while ago, uh it is an embedded driver, but the but the real class for this is actually the client driver. So this is what you need in order for it to work, but it doesn't really matter, I think, it is not because I think that we need to make it an executable file for it to work. So this and so going back to what we're doing right now. So the con one, which is the connection, we say that in here, and the connection should be con one. The reverse statement will be insert, and the result set is the RS. So uh, con one is equivalent to driver manager that get connection. So this is the URL of our database, as you can see right here. Since we need so since our database is named ordering, so we're gonna put here ordering. So look at the properties of the ordering and look at the database. This is what I mean. The URL is what you're going to put in the first part of your connection, and then the username, which is the root, and the password is what we retyped earlier. So next is the insert, which is the prepared statement. So con1 that prepare statement, select from login table where username and password. So we're looking if there is if there is a an input like this where the user inputted something to the database. That is what this code is telling us. And then we are insert that set string, so we are checking at at the second column, since the first column on our database, look at here. So the first column on our database is 0, and the second column is 1. The third column is 2. Since we're looking on the username and password, we're looking at the 1 and 2, the second and third column. Going back, insert that execute query, in which we are checking if there is really a there's really an inputted value on the user's part. So if there is a value, orders will open, in which this one on our on on our done database on our done system is what will open. If 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 it compensates to the input to the user's input, this will open. And then else, if there is no if there is no result in which the user is inputted, in equal result in which the user has inputted, it will show a message dialog in which it says that username or password does not match. So there's no, clearly there's no record on that. What we're going to do now is, since we have the login, we need to create the orders, the order Java. So we need to create another JFrame. So we need to create a new JFrame, which is the orders. Finish. We need to clear to make it big. And then let's look at. So we need to test first if our login clearly works. So what we're going to do now is we need to run this one. So we need to run this file, the ordering system. Okay. There we go. What we inputted on our database was Harold as the username, and then Harold as the username, and then Harold as the username, and the password is admin. So we're gonna put Harold in here and the admin. So we're gonna look if it is if it is working. So this one is not found. We're gonna put the real driver of it in here. Since our driver in here is this one, we're gonna put it on our class. So let's check if our database is working. So we need to check our login system. So in here, and then admin. So Java embedded driver. What we're going to do in here is we need to add the Java Derby system on our library. So when we look at your Java application and then look at the libraries. So we need to add the library for this. So we need to and the Java driver. And then once it's added, we need to restart the program. And then what we need to input. And then boom, we're inside the orders.java that we have created a while ago. So it is blank for now since we haven't added anything in here. So what we're going to do is we need to add this one. We need to add one panel for the red. So one panel for that. The background. The panels are not really much important in here. It's for the decoration of here and of the. So what's the number of that panel? 255.102.102. So we can change it here. 255.102.102. 255. So it's 102. 102. We should put 255. There we go. And then we need to create another panel. Just for the design, guys. You don't need to. You don't really need to input some panels around here, since it's not really needed. So on this one, so it's light blue, 153, 255, 255. And there we go. And we need to add the last panel, which is the black panel. Everything is black, because why not? Black is good. And then I need to add the order, the sales, and the access. The sales first. sales, and wait, the order. Since we're on the orders tab, we need to add the check mark in here. To do that, we need to have a logo. So in here, we need to go to its properties, look for the icon, and then we need to input something inside the project. So we're gonna put the downloads image. We have GD file, and then change to our system, and then boom, we have that. Of course, we need to put something on the sales. I mean, need to add an exit button, because what we wanted to do in here is to delete this one, because on our made project, which is this one, it doesn't have the Windows toolbar in which we have the maximize, minimize, and the exit button. That's what we're about to do. And what we're cleaning this is the name of the store. So just good wine. We just copy paste right here. And so it's here. To diminish the size of these text boxes. I mean these labels. It's not hard for us to do. And then we need to add the text area. Copy here. That's the size. And of course, these are also panels actually. So in this panel, we only added the title feature, which is located in the properties box. You can search it if you want. I think it's in the code or something. Not really. I forgot where I put this one. In here, the border. So we need to add the title border, and there we go. You can add the title on what you want to add in here. Copy the panel in here. Right here. We need to adjust this one. Put the last panel in here. There we go. Pretty much it. And then what we're going to do now is look for the errors in our so in the order source we have created this, initialize this, and, import those, import the calendar, a simple date format, import the date, the SQL date, the option pane, of course, we need that, the add, we need to add the printer exception, the logger, the logging level, and there we go. And then this one add, we need to copy paste our function. So add is only a function in which we're adding something on our database. So it is a created function by me. So you just need to add here, and I'll explain the code later. So is this the last one? Yeah, this is the last one. So the function, you can just add it right after one, bracket. you can add here, let's say in here, and create private void, add, there we go. And you clearly have add there. So just add. So this is our function. And uh dates. Argument for dates. It's there. This it's a field. Add something. So look if there's something util. What we need is the util date, actually, not the SQL date. And then here, so I'm gonna explain the code one by one. So what first we're go what what should we do first in this system? So as a cashier or the admin of the store, you can add the name of the person that's buying, the number of the person who is buying, so that you can contact him later if there could be something that if there could be some concerns. And the quantity, of course, of the white wine, the red wine, the other wine. And then once you've added, you can click total, and then it will add automatically the date, time, the unit price, subtotal of each, multiply the unit price to the quantity to get the subtotal, and then the total price that we're looking for. And the tax, of course, it will also calculate the tax, the net price, in which the price before we added the tax, and then the payment, of course. So from here, we're going to check if the payment is greater than the total, so that we can see if our system really works. And then what we have done here is that we imported the things that we needed. So the printer exception, of course, we're going to print the receipt, the connection in which for the SQL to work, the driver manager, the paired statement in which for the query to procure the result set, of course, the SQL exception in which we accept something. We can see it later in the try and catch clause. The statement of the SQL, of course. The simple date format, we need this so that we can see what is the current time and date on when the purchase has done. And the next is the calendar, the date, the logging level, the logger, and the J option pane. So first, we can take a look at this. Take a look at this. So we declared first num as double, second num, the result, the operations. White wine is 500.99. So in here, this one is 500.99, and the red wine is 600.99, and the other wine is 700 pesos. And the tax, we double the tax to 0.12, of course, because 2% is the tax here in the Philippines. And connection one, we named it con1, prepare statement as insert, result set as RS. And this one, the J level that we're talking about here is the sales. So later on, when we're going to make a sales, then we can click, and then uh, we can add the code so that it will not procure any errors. So next is the J button one, action performed. As I mentioned before, that the first button that we're going to click here is the total. So when we click total, it will add automatically the date, time, and etc. and etc. So this is how the code works. So we need to double And we're going to assign a new variable, which is the qty1 for the quantity one text. So this is the first quantity, and then this text is assigned to qty1, and then the next one is qty2, and so on and so forth up to the next one. And we're going to double the total, the subtotal, the add up, which is the net price, and the VTax, the tax, the purchase one, the purchase two, and the purchase three. And we're gonna go now. And we're gonna string white wine. So we're gonna assign another variable, and to string format peso as a percentage that 2f. So the meaning of this is we're going to add a peso sign, and then the format of the decimal format would be only in two places. So the white wine, which is added in here, the white wine equals 500.99. So it will show up on the unit one, that's it text, which this is our unit one. These are unit one. And so on and so forth on the red wine and the other wine. And the purchases, that's why we need to that's why we double purchase one, purchase two, and purchase three. This this will be our placeholder in which we are going to multiply the quantity one value to the red wine price. And then there we go. And we're gonna go to the next one, which is the string sub one. So we're gonna assign another variable, and we're gonna put another string format in here. We're gonna put peso sign and then two decimal places. So the purchase one and the subtotal one will be the placeholder, and then we're gonna put it in here, and so on and so forth. So we're done right here since it's the same format. So right now we're gonna add the subtotal. So the subtotal equals purchase one plus purchase two plus purchase three. So we're gonna add it right here, and then VTax equals subtotal times ITax. So on how much the subtotal cost, we will multiply to zero point 0.2 because our ITax is equivalent to 0.12 divided by 100 to calculate how much is the tax that we have on our purchase. And then next, so it will go right here, the tax paid, and then right here. So we're gonna string subtax, so it is another variable. And then the VTax, which is right here, the calculation of how much our tax is. And then we're gonna put a string format where we're gonna put a peso sign before it, and then we're gonna set the text for the tax on what our subtax contains. And then the next one will be the subtotal for all. So subtotal all equals string that format with peso sign and the subtotal on how much the subtotal costs. And we're gonna and we have the add up equals subtotal plus VTax. So that is the net price in which we added the subtotal and the added and the added tax. And then we're gonna string total all, and this is the total, and this is the net that set text, and the net here is the net price. And then there we go. And the calendar timer, so we're gonna just set the calendar timer in here, the date right here, and for the time it will go here. So that's how it goes. When we click the total, and when we click the reset, it will just only set everything into null. So there will become no value on each. So there will be no value in here, no value, no value, no value. Everything will be no value. So it's just a reset of uh, it's just a reset of transaction. So when you're going to create a new transaction, you can do that. So you can set all the text to null. The next one that we're going to talk about right here is when we add the payment. So we're going to pay. Right here is the pay. So we have the simple date format in order for us to put the date, of course, because when we click pay, we're going to see what would go to the receipt. So it's just we're going to write to back again to what we are discussing earlier. That's why we're going to skip this and skip that. And this this is the most important part. So the payment. So we're going to get what what is the value of the payment that what is the value of the payment text. So if the payment text uh is lower than the total purchase, well, it will not the the process will not continue, and it will throw back to it will throw an error to the user. So I'm gonna explain right here. So we're gonna double the payment in order to get how much is the payment, and we're gonna double the change in which we minus the payments and the total purchase here. So if payment that get text is equivalent to none, so if there could be no payment on the text, so if there is none inputted right here, it will throw us that there is no payment. And else if the change is less than zero, so if it is negative, then the payment is lower than displayed amount, so it will throw another error. Else, if the change is greater than zero and the payment that get text as a value, it will continue our process. So in here we have the add. This is the function that we created. I will explain it later. So in here we're going to add the receipt in which we are going to in here. That's why we have a set text in here and a get text right here. Is because uh, we are getting what's inside already on the text area. That's why we need to get the text first in order we need to get the text first so that it will not uh it will not remove what's inside if we're going to set another text right here. So in here we're gonna just have the just good wine and another format right here with the asterisk and the date, of course, the date here, the string date. This is what it says, and then the product. So we're gonna create a table like in here, in which we're going to add the white wine price, the quantity on how much the person bought, the quantity of the red wine, the subtotal of it. So the quantity one times white wine's price. So that is the subtotal one. That's why we have this in order to calculate how much the subtotal is and the quantity. And another format right here with the asterisk. So the reason in here why we have backslash n is that uh, this is only for space. So when we have backslash n, we're just clearly pressing enter. So it's just another line. So it's just a break of line. And then when we have tab, that says backslash t, we're clearly just pressing tab. So it's just only for the format and for the presentation of the receipt. And right here we have the payment, which is the payments in here. We get the text of the payments plus the peso sign, the subtotal, the change, the tax, the net price. So that's that's it. That's it. So what we're going to discuss lastly for the orders is the add function. So in here we have the add function. We have the simple date formatter in which we need this in order for us to add it to our database. And we also need this one in order to calculate the needed uh, purchases the quantity and the subtotal. And then right here, we're going to add the class.for name. So, and the embedded driver. And since our database is not yet complete because the ordering has only one table, which is the login table. So we're gonna add another table for it. So this is the ordering, right? And then we're gonna add sales table. So the table name is sales, and another column which is the uh, dates. So we have the dates, the date. So it is in varchar 2.5. We have the subtotal, which is the subtotal, which is the it should be in double, of course, and then pay, of course, in double, and then change in also double. There we go. So we have the sales now right here, and then in here we're going to use the SQL query insert, since we are inserting new values to these columns. And the reason why we have 4 question marks in here, because we are inserting 4 values on on different columns, which are only which are also 4. So we're gonna insert here on our first column the date 1. So this is our date 1, and the total purchase right here, the pays, which is the payment that get dex, of course, the change to, which is the change. The reason why we need to add the sales report is because we need to see if the business is uh blooming, or the business is doing great. And then if there's no problem in adding right here, it will give us the message dialog, the sales added. So right now we're going to test this one if this is working. So right here, so we're gonna put their name, number, so anything in here, quantity 3, 4, total. So we're gonna put in right here, and then uh, let's say we have 5,000 only on the payment, so it is lower than the displayed amount. That's why the process will not continue. And then we're gonna put let's say 5,305, and pay sales added, and then right here. And just remember what we have here. So we have the payment as 5,505. The change is 0.05. The subtotal is 5,504. So we're gonna look if it really added on our database. So as you can see right here, the change is 0.05. The payment is 5,505 right here. So it added. So our database is clearly working. And then right here, so if you want to print the receipt, you can print the receipt by clicking right here. Then it opens up your printer menu, in which you're uh, going to look in here what printer you have. And then you can click exit right here. Actually, on exit, we haven't done anything on here right yet. Oh, I should have a different hat. Sorry, guys. So, exit 0. So we're gonna add another sales in here so that we're not going to get the error right here. So we're gonna JFrame and then sales. There we go. The error is gone. I'm gonna check only if the exit will work. So it works in my 8 here. It works right there. Sales. There we go. The sales is working. And right here, it also works. So the next thing that we're going to do is the sales, the Java. Move this one. This one, this one. So we're gonna go to the sales right now and look for the sales right here. We're open here. And then just like that, we're gonna add. Actually, I'm gonna delete the sales right here. I'm gonna delete the sales right here. Yeah. Wait. This is the sales. Yeah. This is the sales. So I'm gonna delete the sales right here. And then in the orders, we're gonna just copy. We're gonna copy the orders. And then we're gonna right click here, paste and refactor copy. And then should we sales, then refactor in order for us not to create another one. And then redesign it. Then we have here. So in our order, since we're not on our order tab, we're gonna put it. We're gonna remove the icon actually. So this one should have no image, and the sales should have the icon for it. Can click the gg.png, and then there we go. So we're gonna delete the unnecessary things that we don't need right here. Put the just code line above in the middle, and we're gonna need the search bar, the filter, the table, the calculate sum, and this one, and we're just gonna copy it right through here. So in here, right there. We're gonna add import to the default model, the table row sorter, of course, the row filter. This add this no longer needed, so you need to remove this one. The add, don't need that. What we need is the table update, in which we're going to get from here. We need the table update right there. So I created another function, which is the table update, in which the table update on your click. So once you click it, I mean, so once you access the sales tab, the table already will update. So what does table update do? So gonna roll this one. So I need the ordering, of course, to see and select from sales table, and then the vector right here. I'm going to have that. So the table model right here and the table update. So, and then you can table update right here. So let's see if our table really updates. So we only have, so clearly have only one result right here. And as you can see in here as the in the sales. Um, we only have one result. Yeah. When we click it, we can see the result, which is the 5,505 payment. And then there we go. It is working, the sales one. So what I'm going to do right now is to explain the code. How does it work? So this one is not really needed, the double first sum, the double second num. You don't really need that, so I'm just gonna delete it. And let's just fix first these things. So when we click the order, click the order, we have this one. And click the order. We should have to see the orders. Set visible for this. It should be unclickable, of course. So I need to delete this one and to exit. Click send that exit, so it works just perfectly fine. And then there we go. And we're just going to add the last one, which is this one. This one. Save that. And then let me explain the code right now. So I'm just gonna go first for the table update, of course. So in table update, we initialize C. So the C is in on integer, and this one is this string current directory, user directory. We're gonna need it when we're going to use an embedded driver for this to work, even though we're not using the NetBeans. So even though we don't have NetBeans, we don't have the Java environment, we can run it. So this is what we're going to use once we're finally done with our project. So the try and catch class for name, the embedded driver, the URL, the username and the password of the database, the query, the SQL query, the select. So because we're just only viewing, so we need only the select. And then the result set, the R, and we're gonna name it RS, insert that execute query, and then result metadata, we're gonna get the metadata, and then C equals, so this is the C, RSD that get column count. So we're we're gonna see uh, a lot of data. That's why we're gonna get the column count of here, and then the default table model, and we're gonna put the and we're gonna put it on a table, and then we get the model on the table one to export the data. I mean to import the data from the database to the table. And then while there is a result, the vector v2, the vector will conduct a for loop in which it will add all of this. There we go. And that's pretty much it on the table update. So I think what we're going to see is the filter. So this is on how we're going to filter the table model. So in this one, we have the default table model D, and the default table model is the table one that get model. So we're going to get the table one result, of course, because that's what we're going to sort. And then the tables row sorter. So in here, and then we're gonna sort it, the row filter. When we're gonna get what's inside the text filter. So in here, this is the text filter, and we're gonna get what's inside the text filter in order to sort it. And the sorter will do is it will only display what's inside the text filter. That's why it has it has the capability to trim the table into, let's say, only one result if there's only one uh, purchase on one day, and that's it. And then next one is to calculate sum. So uh, why do we need to have this? It is because we calculating the sum on how much purchase we had on one day is because to uh, the reason for why we are doing this is because we want to know if the business is flourishing or not. That's why we need to have this. And then we're gonna put a variable sum, which is an integer, equals zero. So sum is equal to zero, and we're gonna create a for loop, and in which I is equal to zero, and I is less than table that get row count. So if I is less than the row count, so we're gonna count from top to bottom. I will go plus plus, and then sum will be some the sum will look at the first the first uh the first column, but it talks about when it talks about the first column, as I said a while ago, it will look at the second column, which is the subtotal, just like in the SQL, and it will be converted to string because the reason for this is we can put an integer to a text box. That's why we need to convert it to string. Same as we're going to do in when we're going to have a double right here. Next is to calculate the sum right here. It's actually printing. It's actually printing and putting it to a inputting it to a text area. So let's take a look. Since and then actually we can't really try filtering something out right here because we only have one data right here. And then let's calculate the sum. So it's 5 so on. Calculate the sum right here. And then we're gonna and then it will create a sales report right here, just like what we did on the like we did on the first part of the video. And pretty much that's it on my tutorial on how to create a ordering system using NetBeans IDE 8.0.2. Thank you guys for watching. Bye bye. See you in the next video.